This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you love them. Because love lives here.
There's an SUV that turns the unthinkable into the unforgettable. The new Nissan Pathfinder, built for big adventures and all that family chaos. It's powered by a strong V6 engine with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Inside, it's rugged and capable, but still premium and tech-forward, with room for up to 8 passengers. It's also available with 7-passenger seating and second-row captain's chairs. With massive hauling capability, now you can bring all the gear you and your family need for unforgettable adventures. The new V6 Nissan Pathfinder. Power your adventure.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move, and knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
If something in your relationship feels off, but you can't explain why. If you've spent years trying harder in the relationship, and yet it just keeps hurting, this space is for you. Welcome to the Covert Narcissism Podcast. Sitting beside a covert narcissistic person, especially one with whom you are in an intimate relationship with, is the loneliest place on the earth. You sit beside them, you live your life beside them, and yet you feel completely unseen. In today's episode, The Loneliness of Covert Narcissism, we're talking about emotional invisibility. This is why you feel invisible even when you're not alone. This is the quiet isolation that so many people experience in covert narcissistic relationships, and why moments of being truly seen can feel so rare and extremely emotional and profoundly relieving. After living this type of isolation and loneliness for so many years, being seen restores both emotional safety and your sense of human connection. There is a particular kind of loneliness that does not come from being alone. It comes from being with someone who doesn't really see you. You can share an entire life with this person, sit across from them at dinner, sleep beside them at night, and still feel profoundly invisible. This kind of loneliness is quiet, it's confusing, and because it doesn't fit the usual picture of isolation, many people don't even realize that that's what they are experiencing. It doesn't look like the isolation of sitting home alone while your partner is out, at the bars or out, working late at night. Maybe your partner is home every evening. Maybe they're home every weekend, but yet it still feels hollow, distant. You still feel unseen, unheard, unmet. So this is the kind of isolation, the kind of loneliness that the world around you doesn't see. But yet, when you finally do feel seen, even briefly, when you finally have this moment of connection where someone gets you, someone sees you, it can feel so relieving that it almost hurts. It is one of the things that causes people to realize how starved and how lonely they are in their relationship. Maybe your chest softens and your shoulders drop. Tears might even come out of nowhere. Not because something bad just happened, but because something good finally did. If you've ever had that moment where someone reflected you accurately, even briefly, someone stayed present without correcting you or responded with curiosity instead of defensiveness, and your body reacted to that. Maybe it even reacted before your mind could catch up to why. I get that. I've been there. It's because you are so starved for that kind of human connection. That response is not a weakness. It's not neediness. It's your nervous system recognizing something that it's been missing and craving for a very long time. When we talk about being seen, it is important to clarify what that actually means, because many people confuse visibility with validation or praise. Being seen is not being complimented, it's not being agreed with, it's not being told, you're strong, you're capable, impressive, or even resilient. Many of you have heard those things regularly, even within your relationship. Maybe they compliment you all the time. And so now you don't understand why you feel this way, because you still feel unseen. Because being seen is quieter than all of that. It's much more subtle and it lands much more deeply. Being seen is not about someone noticing you got your hair cut or complimenting your shirt. Those things are pleasant, but they are surface level. Being seen goes much deeper than external details or polite acknowledgments. It's about someone noticing you, your inner world, your emotional shifts, the meaning behind your words. It's being curious about how you experience life, not just how you present yourself in it. Being seen means your feelings are registered, not dismissed. Your perspective is taken seriously, not argued out of existence. It means when something matters to you, it matters because it matters to you. There is a felt sense that your inner experience has weight, that it lands somewhere safely, that it leaves an impression. And when that kind of scene is consistently absent, the loneliness that follows is not imagined. It is a natural response to emotional invisibility. Being seen means someone notices your emotional reality without correcting it. It means someone listens without immediately defending themselves or explaining why you're wrong. It means someone stays present when things get uncomfortable, instead of shutting down, walking away, or turning the focus back onto themselves. Being seen doesn't require big gestures. It doesn't require perfect words. It just requires emotional availability. And for many of you listening, that availability was incredibly rare in your relationship. A lot of you spent years in dynamics where your inner world was not truly welcomed. This is where you are not seen. Not necessarily attacked all the time, although some of you have gone through that, but a lot of us have not. But treated as an inconvenience. So many times you feel like your very existence is a bother to them. Your feelings lead to tension. Your needs lead to withdrawal. Your questions lead to defensiveness. Your honesty leads to silence, sulking, or subtle punishment. Over time, you learn something very specific and very painful. It wasn't safe to fully show up. So you soften your tone. You choose your words carefully. You anticipate reactions before they happen. You edit yourself constantly, trying to avoid the emotional fallout that came from simply being you. You, the deepest internal version of you, becomes invisible. You didn't stop needing connection. You stopped offering yourself fully because there was no one there to receive you. When emotional attunement is inconsistent or absent, the body adapts. You shrink not because you want to disappear, but because disappearing feels safer than being rejected or dismissed yet again. That's not a character flaw, that's survival. So when someone finally does see you, when they reflect you accurately, respond with care, or stay emotionally present to you, your body exhales. Not because you're broken, but because you've been holding your breath for a very long time. This is why the relief feels so big. It's that big gulp of air when you've been underwater for this long. This is why it can feel grounding and emotional all at the same time. This is why tears show up even when you didn't expect them. Your nervous system is registering safety. It's recognizing a moment where you don't have to perform, explain, justify, or manage someone else's emotions in order to belong, in order to be seen and heard and validated. The loneliest place on this earth was sitting beside my husband because he never really saw me. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you're invisible. You move through the house and no one looks up. You speak, but the sound does not land. Your presence does not register to them. Not because you're hiding, but because no one is tuned into you. No one can see you. You reach out, but there's nothing to touch. You try to make yourself known, clearing your throat, stepping closer, even saying their name, but it changes nothing. You're there and somehow not there at the same time. At first, this would be quite confusing. Then it becomes painful. And eventually, it becomes lonely in a way that's hard to describe, because loneliness usually comes from being alone, not from being unseen while standing right next to someone. That's what living with a covert narcissist feels like. You're there and somehow not there at the same time. This isn't a failure of communication. I didn't feel alone because we lacked conversation or shared responsibilities. I felt alone because I was living next to someone who had no real sense of who I was. About 15 years into my marriage, I realized something that was both sobering and clarifying. My husband didn't actually know me. He didn't know my true interest. He didn't know my deepest desires. He didn't know what lit me up or what quietly broke my heart. This wasn't because I hadn't shared those things. I had. We had talked. I participated in what I thought was normal human conversation. I offered pieces of myself over and over again. But my words never landed. They didn't register. They didn't shape how he saw me or how he related to me. It was as if I was speaking into a space where nothing stuck. Many of you know this feeling intimately. You've shared your thoughts, your hopes, your struggles, and your inner world, only to realize later that none of it really took root. You might notice it when they describe you to someone else and it feels inaccurate or shallow. Sometimes straight out wrong. Or when they make decisions that ignore the things you've said matter deeply to you. Or when they seem surprised by parts of you that you've been expressing for years. That kind of invisibility does something profound to a person. It makes you question whether you're communicating clearly enough. It makes you wonder if you're asking for too much. It can even make you doubt your own sense of self over time. When someone repeatedly fails to see you, you don't just feel unseen, you begin to feel unknowable. I want you to hear this. You were not asking for something unreasonable when you asked to be seen. Wanting connection, human connection, is not a flaw. This is a healthy, normal human trait. Hear me when I say this. Emotions are not a problem to fix or manage away. They are a fundamental part of how humans bond, communicate, and survive together. There is nothing wrong with you for desiring closeness, understanding, emotional presence. That is how the human nervous system is designed to function. When someone consistently cannot meet you there, it is not because you are too much. It is because they are operating outside of healthy relational norms. In that dynamic, they are the ones not fitting in.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Even if they work very hard to make you believe otherwise, you were offering yourself to someone who did not know how or was not willing to receive you. The loneliness you felt sitting beside that someone who didn't really know you was real. The grief of realizing that your inner world was not held or remembered makes sense. And the relief you feel now when someone reflects you accurately or recognizes something true about you, that can be overwhelming. It's your system finally experiencing what it means to be seen. There's something that I hear all the time among my clients, both individual and in group sessions, and I hear it so often that it's almost predictable. Someone will share a story, often not a dramatic one, not a big, obvious moment, something small, seemingly insignificant. A ridiculous argument over the dishwasher, a circular conversation about a restaurant that leaves you replaying it for days wondering what just happened, a silent treatment that shows up over walking the dog. The story will seem so minor, but the fallout certainly was not. Someone, including myself, might share a story that you've been holding privately for years, and almost immediately, another person says, "Wait, that happened to you? That happened to me too." They might even say, and they in fact often say, "I thought it was just me." You can feel the emotions that they go through, the disbelief, the shock, followed so quickly by instant relief. Sometimes there's even a burst of laughter, tears, even giddiness at the thought that they're not alone and someone sees them for the first time in forever. In this moment, something heavy lifts off their shoulders. For so long, these experiences felt too small to name and too confusing to explain. You didn't have the language for them. You didn't have witnesses. And when you tried to describe what was happening, it sounded petty, dramatic, insignificant, even to you. I remember myself thinking, I sound so petty and trivial when I try to explain these things. But then I get into a session with a client and I share a story that I've been holding on to, thinking how petty it was, and they lived it too. And that connection that happens right there is so healing. So you see, you thought these stories were too small and too insignificant, so you stopped talking about them. You told yourself it wasn't worth bringing up. You convinced yourself you were overreacting. You swallowed the confusion and carried it alone. But when someone else names it clearly and calmly without minimizing it, this says, that wasn't in your head. That wasn't just you. This pattern exists. And suddenly you are not alone inside the experience anymore. That's what being seen does at a deeper level. It doesn't just regulate your nervous system, it restores your sense of reality. Go back to the story of waking up to discover you're invisible. You move through your day trying to make sense of it. You tested it first, speaking a little louder, stepping closer, waving a hand, waiting for some sign that someone can see you. But nothing changes. Conversations continue around you as if you're not there. Doors close without pause. Your presence leaves no imprint. At first, you might tell yourself it's temporary. Surely this can't last. Surely someone will notice. But the day ends, the next morning comes, and you're still invisible. Weeks pass, then months, and even years. Eventually, you have stopped trying to be seen. You've stopped reaching out. You've stopped expecting connection at all. Not because you no longer need it, but because hope itself is too painful to keep carrying. You learn how to move quietly through the world, how to take up less space, how to survive without being witnessed. Does this sound familiar to you? But then one day, someone speaks to you. They look directly at you, not past you, not through you, at you. For a moment, you might not even believe it. They must be talking to someone behind me, but you realize that no one is there. They are looking at you. Part of you wonders if this is a mistake or if you're imagining it. Another part braces for disappointment because after all of this time, being seen feels almost dangerous. But they stay. Their eyes don't slide away. Their attention does not disappear. And you are finally seen. You burst into relieved tears as you have been starved for this connection for so long. Your heart just might possibly explode. And in that moment, you realize something quietly devastating and profoundly true. You were never unseeable. You were just living with someone who was unwilling or unable to truly see you. The invisibility wasn't yours. It was built into the relationship itself. Now, the need to be seen is not excessive. The relief you feel when it happens is not embarrassing. Your response makes sense because you spent a long time in a place where no one was really looking at you. Humans are not meant to live in isolation. It's not the way we are wired. From the very beginning of our history, we have survived and thrived through connection. We gathered in groups. We worked together. We shared food, stories, and responsibilities. Community was not a luxury. It was a necessity when you look back through history. Our nervous systems are built for relationships, for attunement, for being seen and known by each other. Wanting connection is not a weakness. It's a biological and emotional need. It is an innate human need to be seen and to connect with others. From the very beginning of life, we are wired for attunement, for eye contact, responsiveness, emotional exchanges. Our nervous systems are shaped in relationship, regulated through connection, and sustained by feeling recognized and understood. This need does not disappear with adulthood. It doesn't go away with independence or strength. It remains a core part of how we stay emotionally grounded and psychologically well. Wanting connection is not a preference or a personality quirk. It is a biological and relational necessity. When that need is consistently unmet or dismissed, the distress that follows is not weakness. It is the natural signal of a system deprived of something essential. To want to be seen is not asking for too much. It is asking for what humans have always needed to survive and thrive together. This need for human connection is as real as your need for food every day. It is normal and healthy to desire closeness. It is normal to want to be understood. It is normal to feel pain when connection is missing and withheld. There is nothing excessive about longing to be emotionally met. There is nothing shameful about needing reassurance, warmth, or presence from the people we are closest to. And yet, many of you were told, directly or indirectly, that this need made you too sensitive, too weak, too emotional. When you reached for connection, it was framed as a flaw. When you expressed hurt, it was dismissed as overreaction. Over time, you maybe have started to believe that you were the abnormal one for wanting what humans have always needed. So no longer will we allow them to tell us that we are wrong or broken for this desire, for human connection, for emotional safety, for deeper emotional interaction. Wanting to be seen, understood, and emotionally met is not a weakness to correct. It is a sign of a healthy nervous system reaching for regulation and belonging. We do not need to shrink this need anymore. We do not need to explain it away or harden ourselves against it to be acceptable. Acceptable to who? To people who are not seeing and fulfilling this human need? The distortion was never in the wanting, it's in being told that something so fundamentally human was a flaw. This week, I invite you to notice when that old message shows up. Notice the moment that you start to second guess yourself for wanting closeness, for feeling hurt, for needing reassurance. When you catch it, I want you to pause and gently remind yourself this is a normal human trait. This need is not wrong. I am not broken for having it. You don't need to act on it right that moment. You don't have to justify it. Simply acknowledge it and let that be enough. That small act of permission is how healing begins. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. If there were ever an audience that I wish did not have to exist, it would be this one. Because of what it means you've lived through. I'm truly sorry that you understand this so deeply. And I'm really glad that you're here. May this be a place of safety, clarity, and peace. You are not alone anymore, and you don't have to figure this out by yourself. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe so you don't miss future conversations. And if you'd like to learn more about the support, resources, or coaching that is available for you, you can visit covertnarcissism.com. While I hate it for everyone who understands what I am talking about, I'm really glad that you're here, and I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson, Covert Narcissism Podcast, and CNG Life Coaching is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes. It is not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. Renee shares stories from her personal experience as well as from those that she has worked with for several years. Her material does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or support a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and the information provided. Thank you.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and convenient installation options. Go to TireRack.com to see tire test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Fidelity Active ETFs have the flexibility to shift and transform as markets do the same. So instead of just riding an index, they can seek to outperform it by adapting to market conditions and pursuing new opportunities as they emerge. And while you get the potential outperformance of an actively managed fund, you can still buy and sell it on your terms, just like any other ETF. Markets can change in real time. Make sure your ETF can too. Learn more at fidelity.com/active ETFs. Before investing in any exchange-traded fund, you should consider its investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Contact Fidelity for a prospectus, an offering circular, or if available, a summary prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. While active ETFs offer the potential to outperform an index, these products may more significantly trail an index as compared with passive ETFs. ETFs are subject to market fluctuation and the risks of their underlying investments. ETFs are subject to management fees and other expenses. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
There's an SUV that turns the unthinkable into the unforgettable. The new Nissan Pathfinder, built for big adventures and all that family chaos. It's powered by a strong V6 engine with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Inside, it's rugged and capable, but still premium and tech-forward, with room for up to 8 passengers. It's also available with 7-passenger seating and second-row captain's chairs. With massive hauling capability, now you can bring all the gear you and your family need for unforgettable adventures. The new V6 Nissan Pathfinder. Power your adventure.
You've made it on time for the McDonald's breakfast menu. You think to yourself, finally, I can start my day. But what if breakfast could be even more perfect? With the hot honey sausage egg biscuit, it finally is. Go to McDonald's and get it while you can.
Your software needs to be compliant to win deals, but you also need your engineers focused on building your product, not pulling SOC 2 evidence. Enter a third option. Make Vanta your first security hire. Vanta uses AI and automation to get you compliant fast, simplify your audit process, and unblock deals, so you can prove to your customers that you take security seriously. Plus, Vanta scales right along with you, backed by support that's there when you need it every step of the way. That's why top startups like Cursor, Linear, and Replit use Vanta to get and stay secure. Don't SOC block your best engineer. Set them free and get compliant fast with Vanta. Get started at Vanta.com.